Another cop funeral in the atmosphere sanctioned by the left. This anti-cop mania started by Black Lives Matter, if not before. Another funeral, a very sad occasion here in New York City as Officer Wilbert Mora, 27 years old, who was shot and killed a week ago Friday along with his partner. The turnout was absolutely amazing. Now, this was very sad, but also very, very beautiful, actually awe-inspiring. These cops turning out for their fellow officer. And I'm hoping that this might be a turning point, that even the far left will recognize that these are the good guys. It seems unlikely. We had a couple of wacko liberals call these men fascists, including the new police officers who were shot yesterday. 2 officers shot just yesterday at that university in Virginia. And take a quick look, by the way, these officers, something that the left doesn't understand. The ranks of the police in America are incredibly diverse. Now, 3 of the 4 officers killed here are people of color. Yet, on the left, they see it the way they want to see it. And it's all about race for them.
Need to protect themselves against racist police officers.
Everyone Black I know feels hunted. Whether it's a police officer bursting into your home and you're a 26-year-old EMT named Breonna Taylor, and it's 1 o'clock in the morning and the police bust in and just start licking off shots and then you wind up dead.
And until then, the police.
The discriminatory and racist police system in America.
The police have not actually slowed down their killings of people and Black people in particular. And so this entire system is what needs to be put on trial.
They are all overwhelmingly wrong, and they are all overwhelmingly harmful. What they're saying is harming our country and harming those frontline officers. So we got a mess at home, and now, thanks to Joe Biden, a mess abroad. You hear, I thought he was supposed to be good at the overseas stuff, right? Joe Biden, Council on Foreign Relations, Senate Armed Services Committee, all that stuff. Just ask him.
If I have any expertise, it's American foreign policy. It's what I've done my whole career. It's what I've devoted my academic and my political existence to.
His academic and his political existence to foreign affairs. Well, we can talk about his academic achievements and his political achievements later, but the results are not good. And right now, since he had such a terrible press conference 2 weeks ago, he's got to be the tough guy overseas, deploying troops all over the place. Very reminiscent of what happened when he was vice president. Remember the turmoil all over the place? Our botched withdrawal from Iraq, the rise of ISIS, combat in Libya. This is all on them, all on them. And Donald Trump, it's true. And you know what? He should blow his own horn. He didn't start any new wars. He did not start any new wars. And they said the opposite, didn't they?
I was proud to be the first president in decades who did not get the United States into any new wars. I took us out of endless and ridiculous wars. Remember when I was running, they were all screaming, he'll start a war. He's that kind of a guy. No, I'm the one that got them not to fight because they didn't want to mess with us. Totally rebuilt the military. Nobody wanted to mess.
He's right. He's right. You know, I used to be concerned about war with China, like that was coming. Almost felt like it was inevitable. I don't think it's inevitable anymore. I think China is buying our leaders. They're buying us. They're buying us. And so many leaders are so eager to sell out. New book by Peter Schweitzer, Red-Handed, How American Elites Get Rich Helping China Win. And it's one compelling case. And Joe has kind of been admitting it in big ways and small for a long time. This is not how a normal American statesman talks about China. Listen to this. It's totally bizarre, but he has a target audience. People who can pay him and Hunter.
I've spent more time with Xi Jinping, at least before we got out,
than any world leader has. I've traveled 17,000 miles with him, the president of China.
I probably spent more time with Xi Jinping, I'm told, than any world leader has, because I had 24, 25 hours of private meetings with him when I was vice president, traveled 17,000 miles with him, and know him pretty well. I've spent more time with President Xi of China than any world leader has, for 24 hours of private meetings with him. I've spoken and spent more time with Xi Jinping than any other world leader has. I've had hours and hours and hours of meetings and personal conversations with Xi Jinping. I spent more time with him, I believe, than any other world leader has.
Now, why would he say this stuff? You think voters care? Voters assume that leaders spend time with other leaders around the world. Who's he talking to? Who's he bragging to? Rich people in China, rich people in Europe and America. I'm in with the Chinese. And in the new book by Peter Schweitzer, he alleges that the Biden family received some $31 million from Chinese businessmen with very close ties to Chinese intelligence. We've seen this before. I mean, they still can't really explain what the hell Hunter Biden was doing over there in China with his father on an official trip when he was vice president. This is in violation of every ethics rule ever conceived. I think the Chinese, in a weird way, maybe not so weird, maybe it's cut and dried, own the Bidens. Now, in November of 2020, there was a major conference in Shanghai. This is in the book, Peter Schweitzer's book. And there were communist leaders there. There were academics and business people, including this man, a professor at one of the leading universities in China. And here he is boasting about how the Chinese own the Bidens, and he's doing it in public.
这个中美贸易战过程中，他们也试图帮忙啊。据我所知，美方的朋友跟我讲，这个试图帮忙，但是啊，力有不逮啊。但现在呢，现在我们看到拜登上台了，传统的精英、政治精英啊，这个建制派，他们跟华尔街的关系是非常密切的。所以大家看到吧，拜登的儿子被特朗普说你在全球有什么基金公司，发现没有？谁帮他建的基金公司啊？明白吗？这里边都有买卖啊。那么。所以这个时候啊，这个时候我们以恰当的方式进行一定的这样一个表达一个善意。
Did you hear it when he said Biden's elected? The audience laughed. How did Hunter set those businesses up? The audience laughed. The Chinese get it. They know what's going on. This is part of their grand strategy. It's pretty wild. And I hope, even those on the left will start paying attention, and maybe even those in the Justice Department. By the way, Joe spending all that time with the communists, a lot of it rubbed off on him. I mean, things are bleak right now, but all the time it's these glowing pronouncements. 2021 was the greatest year of job growth in American history. This is a departure from reality, and that's what the communists did. Remember? And Joe does it all the time, no matter what's happening, no matter what we can all see. Everything's rosy, man, right?
Before getting an update from my supply chain task force, I want to say a word about the progress our economy's made this year. Nearly 6 million new jobs, a record number for a new president because of my staff and my cabinet. We're making progress. We got a way to go. We're making progress. I see Marty Walsh, my labor secretary. Marty, you've done a hell of a job, pal. Cutting the red tape. You know, that old expression, make lemonade out of lemons. I think we got a shot here. We've heard a lot about the need for more truck drivers. It's real.
It's always going well, right? We're meeting our goals. We're exceeding expectations. Our team reminds me of the Russians. Even one of my least favorite Russian leaders, Leonid Brezhnev, even has the same mannerisms of Joe. Take a look.
Уходящий год оставил добрый след. Вступили в строй сотни предприятий, проложены новые магистрали, поднялись новые города. Перевыполнены задания по выпуску промышленной продукции. Собран самый высокий урожай зерна и хлопка за всю историю нашей страны.
Does that remind you of anything? They're bosom buddies. Brezhnev and Joe Biden. Everything is the same. Yeah, you can't, I guess, spend 24 hours with President Xi and not learn a few things about communism and bring them back here to America. By the way, the Chinese, they're watching all of the strife here in America, and they're exploiting it. They're using it to their advantage. Wow, we are just being had.
Challenges facing the United States in human rights are deep-seated. They did not just emerge over the past 4 years, such as Black Lives Matter. It did not come up only recently. So we do hope that for our two countries, it's important that we manage our respective affairs well, instead of deflecting the blame on somebody else.
I could just hear what the Americans are thinking. Oh, that Black Lives Matter stuff. No. That's just some garbage we use to get elected. You can't call us out on that stuff. They can, and they have. And if I were them, I'd do the same thing. I mean, look what's being promulgated. Look what's being pushed. We told you yesterday about that horrific documentary from Showtime. What's it called again? Everything is going to be all white. Roll it, please.
I think what annoys me most about white people is when they pretend like they're the victim. What's also annoying is when they kill us.
The lies and the open mocking, the lies about white people and the open mocking of white people. This is horrific stuff, and that's why we are falling rapidly on the international stage, and our society seems to be coming apart. Now, this is not exactly, I guess, a crisis, but it's a sign of a sick society. Who knows who Brian Flores is, the former coach for the Miami Dolphins? Now, he went and interviewed with the Giants for the head coaching job last week. Last week, he didn't get the job. Today, he's on national television with his lawyers crying discrimination. 1 week ago, he doesn't get a job. And it's a federal case. Take a look.
How did that make you feel, knowing that you were walking into an interview where a decision might have already been made?
It was a range of emotions. Humiliation, disbelief, anger. I've worked so hard to get to where I am.
Welcome to corporate America. Every job interview you walk into where you don't get the job, you weren't probably going to get the job when you walked into it. Some of these athletes, some of these sports guys, they have no real sense of how things work. However, I do have sympathy for him because, well, the NFL is trying to be as woke as possible. And when you try to be woke, when you try to be, oh, look at us, look at how diverse we are, you become, I don't know, you don't really mean it most of the time. It's just a big check in the block exercise. And that's what he noticed.
The Rooney Rule is intended to, give minorities an opportunity to sit down in front of ownership. But I think what it's turned into is an instance where guys are just checking the box. And that's been the case. I've been on some interviews in the past that where I've had that feeling. There's always no way to know for sure, but you know.
I think he does know. Not walking in his shoes, but yeah. The Rooney Rule. You will talk to minority candidates. You will talk to minority candidates. Okay, find me some minority candidates so we can talk to them. That's not a solution. The solution's harder than just looking at what people look like and having them come into the office. Know what I mean? All right. Good luck to you, Coach Flores. Don't agree with you on everything, but I don't like it at the same time.